Yep, yep, yep. Hey, hey, yeah. As it does the voice warm up. I've noticed something very interesting when you're sick. You're all like simultaneously better at certain things when it comes to voice, like singing and all that, but then sometimes you just can't. Like your voice doesn't want to work at all. So you get the benefit, like a curse, of having both a better and a worse voice simultaneously. It's great. I'm feeling like tired, but not sick tired. It's like I'm worn out, probably from healing. Like I can tell I've hurdled over, the main course of the virus. And now it's just kind of like whatever's left in my system to stay awake. Also, I have caffeine, which is a good thing right now because I'd just be in bed. So it's like, hey, let's see if I can even manage to do a stream because for the past few days I've been just trying to actually sit and draw, and I would. This is what I came up with for the past few days. That that's Corona. That's what that does. It makes you not want to draw very much and or do anything. So I've been broken down to my most basic core ability, which is art, and I can't even do that one. Um, this isn't going to be a very long, complex stream, so feel free to come in and just chat, I guess. Um, this took a little bit of setting up. I decided to do some very interesting things with the camera. There's like interlacing. That's why it seems kind of buffered and slow. Let me try playing with the frame rate here for this one, though. I set it to 30, but I might put it up higher. Let's see. There might be more of a delay. Oh, yeah, the delays and then the screen tearing. All right, we'll do buffered 30 because it won't give. If you want a consistent frame rate, I would recommend turning buffering on for your phone if you're using your phone to get the higher resolution, 2K to 4K. This is actually doing it at 1440p, which is 2K resolution. But I would lock it at 30 and then just turn buffering on and turn in deinterlacing or whatever it's called. The deinterlacing to blend. That's the fastest one and it looks better. I tried out each one. Linear is just it looks nice, but it's too slow and it congests the performance of the camera since it is hooked up to micro USB to USB. It's got a limited connection, yo. Getting back to my old vibes. It's just getting like weird chills down my spine talking all tech. Man, I've been wanting to mess around with some stuff recently. I don't know, either a game or something. It's that itch is coming back, but I don't want it to take over. The the everyday life. Basically, I'm gonna admit something. I'm gonna tell you, I struggle with addiction. It's not the normal kind of addiction, but I have an addictive personality. It has nothing to do with. You can't blame it on drugs, and you can't blame it on anything. Like when someone gets addicted, it's a lot deeper and has a lot more to do with their psychology, their past, things like that. And I struggle with addiction to electronics. It's really weird, and like it's something that I'll just lock myself in a room, and that's all I'll do for like weeks. And then I'll literally just forget my responsibilities and things I'm supposed to be like thinking or doing. Just kind of like I don't know how to describe it. I kind of just turn into someone else for a little while, and it's weird. So, I don't know. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna be releasing a video. I'm gonna start drawing though. Let's just do some lines. We'll see what we come up with. This won't be anything crazy. Um, I'm coming up with a video where I'm going to be talking about specifically my psychology, bringing that up now, and about my life, things like that, so that like, oh, this why this guy has an addictive personality, or this why this guy seems a little odd, or whatever. Like, you just get to know me a bit more. I think that's a good thing. So I want to be doing more psychology-based videos, just kind of talking about the how and why certain things occur in our lives based on my own experiences. Because I want to figure out why certain things happen in my life, which just were fucked up and weird and made no fucking sense. And now they are starting to make sense because, we're not all that special, is what I'm saying. We're all very much a clone. Like everyone has like behaviors that are passed down, and then a bunch of people around you are going to exhibit those same behaviors. So no one's a special snowflake. Nobody's unique. We have slight differences in us that honestly, you just got to get to know someone on a deep level to know whether they're, the right person to be around you and you're the right person for them. That's more what it is compatibility in life makes unique people. I think, or unique scenarios with friends and family, whether you get along with each other. If you don't get along, same thing. It's the same kind of thing, just on a more negative note. And negativity in chemistry and in personalities in life can also create, a very unique or weird personality type. So I think that's what I'm trying to get at here. I don't really know. Something like that. You need both. You need both to become a human. Like to be sane, like properly sane, you need to be able to balance both in each hand and go, what's the good stuff, what's the bad stuff, what makes me, what's some trauma I can't get through, what's the stuff I can't stop thinking about, why is this associate with my mom or my dad? It always comes down to your mom and your dad. So that's why we're not that different. If someone It's also just, I think what makes us different is our decisions based on those feelings. But everyone is affected by either their parents, or if they didn't have any parents, someone they looked up to as a parent. And either it's a negative or positive experience that drives them. And for me, I had positive and negative experiences, more negative than positive for the majority of my life. But I ended up turning out to be a negative human being towards a lot of people. So I am a recluse, and I don't like talking to people, but I do it because like I'll talk to people because I know it's healthy. Like you got to get out of your own shell. And me having an addictive personality, I'll get really weird and have a weird association with it. So I'll get obsessed with the fact that, oh, I can talk to people, but it's not really like connecting. So then I become this weirdo about that. And I think that I'm so smart or that I'm clever because it becomes an ego trip. It becomes this fucking obsessive ego trip. Same thing with electronics. I feel like every time I feel like I learn how something works or something that I didn't fully understand before, I act like I am the smartest person on the planet, and I'm not. I am 100%. There's people out there who can literally do exactly what I'm doing, but 10 times better. When it comes to electronics or just making videos or talking about anything really, or doing things or drawing. There's always going to be somebody who has a better aptitude, built into them. So there's also a thing that I have to accept that I'm not, amazing. I'm not. I don't know why I'm just rambling about that right now. But yeah. I've been swimming in thoughts for days though. Being coroned up, coroned up. I don't know what to say there. You just get weird thoughts, man. Like mainly, I started just like tripping out. Like I got really high, so I had an edible that had like a lot of weed, and everything turned into like reality did not make sense, but it was fine. Like on the one hand, it was completely not what I do, but it was fine. It was basically everything in my head started turning into cartoons or drawings. That's actually why I wanted to draw today. So last night, I was really high, had an edible, started seeing everything as cartoons for no reason. So shapes, I had to leave the lights off because it was starting to mess with like things that I was looking at. So having the lights off worked. But yeah, I would look at like an object in my head or what thought it looked like, and it would just transform into lines, colors, but very specific lines and colors. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty trippy. Yeah, your mind kind of just creates stuff. Like my imagination level is just kind of out there right now lately. Being loopy all day. So also, like I said in my last video, if you've watched What If You Get Corona in 2022, what are the best things to do? One is keep yourself occupied. Do a task and just stick to it. Your mind will wander and get weird, or if you have anxiety and you have like, depressive spouts, I do. So I have depression, things that happen while I'm sick. And just staying focused on those tasks is really good because you're just not really hurting anyone and you're just kind of going. And then when you're done, you're like, oh, okay, cool. I get to go lay down. I feel like I did something. Your body will thank you too because then your immune system's actually going to do a better job, while you're resting than if you were just resting all day long and not activating, your blood and just getting it, flowing around, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Get the blood flow going in your legs and arms. That is what I mean. Yep. It's good stuff. Get it going, get up and move. And then what else did I say? I said that you gotta eat whole foods, not like Cheetos, but like an actual, sandwich with some actual meat and something. Just something that's got health benefits of some sort. And I know, I don't know how many people eat healthy when they're sick or not, but those are my recommendations, yeah. This coronavirus, it wasn't as bad as I thought, but it was kind of bad at certain points. Like it sucked a lot for like a brief like 20 minutes and then it would just kind of go into different it would change. It wouldn't be the same the entire time. So yeah, that was weird. Basically I would just have like really strong chest pains. There was one where all of my bones just felt like glass. Felt like I got kicked by an elephant, and I just laid flat, couldn't move. I had to take a pain pill. That was probably like I think the worst. It's also because I didn't get enough sleep. I was up late, so that created an issue with the immune system, and Corona just had a heyday. It was terrible, but after I calmed my body down, I just crashed and everything was fine when I woke up. My immune system and my body just started rebooting basically. Hard reset. So yeah. I drew a tiny man. I don't even know why I started drawing a tiny man. This makes no sense. Like none of this. What is this? Alright, we're just gonna roll with it. This is as artsy as I've ever been. Like, don't just start drawing random things and not planning them, and they actually turn out to be like things that I usually start planning things. Like I plan out, at least the mood or the scenery a tiny bit. No, this time it's just whatever we want. Do. Going Bob Ross today, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, this stream's fun. Everyone get hype. I think I just accidentally drew Charlie. This must be from my animation. No wonder default. I've been drawing this so much that obviously subconsciously default my brain just went, let's draw that, because I would draw pectorals and arms and like now that I'm drawing the hair I'm like seeing it now. It's Charlie. Yep. Oh my god, it's a miniature version of Charlie. Yeah, baby. Okay, that doesn't look right. That just looks like a unibrow. That looks so fucking bad. Oh no. Hard to draw it like that. I can't zoom in. That's probably it. There, it's close enough. Enough. Look at little Charlie. We need to actually give him like the hair. Man, that was crazy when I animated that. Like I don't know what I was doing. I was just kind of making up different scenes that had no planning. Like okay, there was planning. No, no. To a degree. I had stick figures kind of lined out, but I would change scenes so much that I would kind of just go, yeah, okay. And yeah. But it's kind of cool that I was able to like not really think about it and just draw a person so easily, I guess. That's a sign of growth. I when I draw, I kind of just think pretty hard about it. So, not too hard. It's a mix, but let's see how flow statey we can get here. I don't know. But yeah, tricks for getting going into flow state while drawing is draw a lot of the same image, get high, and do a bunch of lines, and don't think about what you're doing, and probably make it a live stream and just talk shit and embarrass yourself. Yeah, embarrass yourself a lot because you really don't. You don't need that ego, bro. What you gotta have is just the willingness to draw and not give a fuck. That's it. That's the basic tutorial right there. Because one, you're not your art. You are just a person drawing, and whatever goes down is now going to be interpreted by anyone else as their own personal feelings. That's not going to be your feelings, and that's okay. Art is not personal feelings. It is your like how you take your own art is your personal feelings. There's like a bridge. There's a transition. It's like language. It's like writing. So when people get all huffy and puffy about their art, it's sad that the truth is they don't need to. Nobody needs to worry about anything they're doing right or wrong on the paper. It's whether it's even readable. And if it's readable to you or to someone else and it looks interesting to them, that's really all that matters. Interesting is also a very vague statement when it comes to art. You could literally do anything on paper and it's interesting. But yeah, and then art naysayers acting like they know, what's good, what goes in a museum. They don't know anything. They literally don't know anything. What they're doing is they're just panhandling or whatever to rich people and making stuff up all day. Like it's all bullshit. The art world doesn't make any sense. And that like I said, it's relative to them. Their stuff is interesting, I guess, to a certain group of people. I guess you could ask yourself, would I draw for someone like me or someone, that I could relate to or I don't know. There's another reason. It's like maybe you should just like your art just cuz you did it, Be proud of yourself for the accomplishment and progress you've made. Not a lot of people do that to themselves enough. Like they're either too egomaniac or not enough, but you can be a little bit of both. Just have no ego and but still be kind of proud of it. Like I don't know. I'm just doing some of my favorite lines. These are things I used to do when I was drawing as a kid or in school. Just little curves, lines, circles, just things that help me warm up. Everyone's warm up looks different. Mine is doing a lot of repetitives, but making it look kind of like like some wall art or something, like a design. Very kind of what's it? It's not like retro, but classic yet tribal. I don't know. I don't really know how to describe it, but that would be kind of close, I guess. Somewhere between retro and tribal, I think. I think that's what it would be. Charlie, I don't, you're like a mermaid now. He's just like a giant snake body thing. This is like his decoy version of Charlie. It looks just like sort of a shape, but like it's not. It's trippy. I'm gonna leave the stream like and come right back, and someone's gonna be like, "What is this?" And I will say, it's art. It's beautiful. Dude, I'm back. I said dude or dude. Somewhere I came in and made a noise word thing, yo. Alright. That makes no sense. This line here, this makes no sense. We're going with it. Dude. Yeah, why did I do this? Now, there are such thing as a erasing. Like with the face here and this, it's possible to erase your mistakes. I'm not recommending you should do that, but I will say it's very possible that you could do that. There. Now we got this is actually more what I was actually wanting from the mistake, and then I tried to make it something, and the lines just looked weird. Too wonky. Not enough, like, just purpose or structure or whatever. I would also venture to say that make your art, if you're not liking it, make it look like you did a few passes on it, but just break it down into some shapes that you can do and not overextend later, and then you could add more shapes to those shapes. You don't really, or you can erase parts of them. Once you get like kind of like a main structure that you know isn't too many things. That's why people, when they come into drawing, they think that looks complicated, but you don't tell them you broke it down to like some really basic geometry, in your head. Oh, like this nose is a square and a triangle. Like, let's say I'm drawing a nose. Here's the front, here's the side. You could even just make it a triangle. Nose. Now I'm just doing a nose tutorial for no reason. See, you start with a triangle, and you could, let's construct a face. So, eyes, right? And cheeks and things like that. When I do a jaw, you can actually just break a jaw down to like that and then add, you know, the jawline here and then extend out. You can put as far out as you want and just erase those lines, yo. I don't actually try to do as many, what's it like, compound shapes or whatever. I try not to think about it too much, but that's a way to start, kind of breaking it down in your head, which is what I will do. And then kind of follow that. Because as soon as you learn that you can make these shapes in your head, you realize you don't need to do as much work. And then you can add all these little details around the idea of where things are going to be positioned. Just kind of like jack-o'-lanterning it in your mind. Just creating, like, let's say his head's like that. And then cutting out where you want things. Sometimes you'll see me when I draw. I'll do this. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that. I did that a lot more in the past, where I just kind of pretend I'm drawing the lines and then actually remember kind of what they are in my head. Not everyone can do that, but it's another technique. That's a good thing to practice if I think you should practice it. And everyone's got a cool technique that I've seen some weird techniques that I've never been able to like do exactly. Like, I don't know. This is starting to look like Shrek. You know what? This is Shrek. All of my subconscious is coming out because I did watch the Shrek movies not too long ago, and they made me cry. Cry? This could be Shrek's son. It looks like Shrek. I don't know. I don't know. This is a very serious looking ogre. Yeah, now we got something. This is magic right here. I could just like go full Hellboy style with Shrek. I could add the horns up here. Of course, Shrek's gonna be next to, this on this movie cover next to Moist Critical. Like, who else would be next to Shrek? There, he's got, the shirt bits. It's beautiful. You know what? I'm gonna color Shrek right now. It's gonna be great. Someone comes in, they'll ask, "Who is that?" And I'll be like, "That is Shrek, my own original character that I made up myself, patented or whatever." I'm not. Oh my god, it's the first time I've used my pencil sharpener, and like, since I set it up just recently on this table, I've not actually ran a pencil through it. That was so cool. That was so satisfying. And I don't normally get like, ooh, that's satisfying, but damn, using my pencil sharpener is a nice thing. You should all use your pencil sharpeners. If you don't use your pencil sharpeners, I will find whoever is not using them, and I will sharpen your pencils in your pencil sharpener. Is that a promise? Yes. It's a threat. It's a guarantee. It's a decree. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm trying to make him look serious. Like, I wanted to use a lot of darks. Like, I want to make the lighting look very just kind of closed in and not your normal lighting for this. Or maybe not lighting, but kind of attitude or emotion under his chin or around his eyes. Like there's like a center light here and there's a lot of dark shading going on. It's gonna make him look more serious, I guess. Or add some details that to your brain won't just look like lines that became details later, that they're actually purposeful. It has some geometry to it. But it's subtle, it's not like accurate lighting. I've never drawn Shrek like this. This is fun. All right. Look at on the camera. Oh my god, he looks so weird. It's not picking up the colors. Let me try to fix this, you. Full color. Let's see here. No, that's looking a bit better. Yeah. All right. I don't know if I want to use the natural grass green. Could just play around with it, see what happens. I got all my baselines underneath showing. There are tricks to hide it even after you've drawn. Like if they're showing up, I've learned some pretty interesting techniques through the past years um, to hide them in editing. But it does require a lot of understanding of how to separate a black and white pass of the details and how to separate like a blur and then do like a layering multiplication kind of thing going on. But you can actually reconstruct this part of the image using the image's data and Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's hard to explain, like with words, but I know exactly how to do it. All right. This cannot be explained in words. Do 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 do. Shrek's got that like Dobby thing going on, like one ear's this way, one ear's that way. Oh shit. What do we do when we make a mistake? We make a more a mistake over the mistake and it look like it on a purpose. Yes. Very good, sir. You know, it could also do. Just use a marker. But that's not for the mistake. We're just gonna use the marker for fun. Oops. I actually like that. I like the bits of green in here. That's looking fun. Shrek is woke. That's what this is. It's woke Shrek. I got a million greens keeping me awake. Here's my million greens, except there's not a million. 8. Do do. Oh, that matches basically. It's just sharper looking. We can add, since it does match, we can add a lot of little nuances with this. Okay. I want to go really, really small with this. So I want to use a lot of good like dark spots at least feel like they're gonna add to the image. And actually, this light green, now that I mentioned it earlier, would go really, really like a long way, just kind of becoming the lightest tone. What we should do is actually underlay it pretty much everywhere. Since it is our lightest, I want to use it kind of like our skin tone. All right. Oh, that looks really fun. I like that. Now it just looks like he's got hair, so I gotta work on that. Gotta fix the do that I've created here. Or maybe I'll add it. Maybe it'll just turn into a green hair, and everyone's just gotta deal with it. What have I become? Oh God, his head looks funny now. Nah, it's not too bad. Yeah, no, hold on. I can actually hide by just literally creating like a shape with it instead of making it hair, quote unquote. Should I just add black like around? Just make it look really, really dark and grim. I don't know. That'd be kind of interesting though to try. You know, actually, I want to go with a more like that would have worked fine, but I think it would be kind of cool to use dry brush, stuff like that. Kind of still keep some of the color and detail, but we can also hide it. So hold up. What did I do to this brush? Like, look at that. That's terrible. That's abused. Yeah, obviously I abuse my brushes. I have no words. Nothing else to say here. It's starting to look like Thanos. It's Thanos Shrek. He's very sad. He's sad boy. It also looks a lot flatter, like at the angle it's at. It's not as I don't know, squooshed. Like it's pretty. You can kind of see through this camera a little bit that it's looks a little bit taller. Not really sure, but yeah, this just does like a weird the book cover style Hellboy-ish version of Shrek. That's what this became. I wasn't planning on it, but as I was, describing it, it kind of took form. So, I don't know what to do with it. I guess I have an idea. Let's see here. Let's try something, but it's not really trying anything. I've done techniques like this before, but I just meant like let's add more, hard lines with the black. So yeah, depressed Shrek. He feels. I don't really know what to say about that, but yeah, with the weird diamond thing, weird snake tail thing, and just Charlie chilling in the corner. I'm thinking about getting some music going here. Right. I don't know. Let's do that.
If you are a content
Ooh, that's
creator,
loud
you
as
really
fuck.
need to start using Artlist, a royalty-free music and sound effects licensing platform.
Nice. Is a lot of information I didn't care about. But it's really cool. Mm-hmm. Put away all this green, or should we? I don't know. I don't know. Putting my stuff away for colors, just because I have a bad habit wherein I will make a mess. Just keep drawing, and then I'll be like, shit. I have to sort everything because I pulled all of it out. Might just stick with color pencils for this next one. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright. So yeah, if you weren't here in the first part of the stream, here's the drawing. Press Shrek. So yeah. That's pretty much it. Let's see if there's anyone actually watching. Oh, it actually shows it. It shows me drawing the ogre. Nice. Blah, blah, blah. Might just stick with color pencils next one. Okay, music's not too loud. I should turn it up a bit more though. Alright, that sounds fixed. As long as it's not too loud or doesn't go over my voice. Alright. So yeah, if you weren't here in the first part of the stream, here's the drawing. Fresh track. Okay. Okay, so do I want to draw a dragon? Something like that. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna start explaining, like, okay, if you want to draw like a leg, like an animal or something like that, we're gonna start with your basic shape, curve this way, so kind of like a football curve up, knee. This is like your basic like leg. You kind of curve down. Nothing's ever truly straight. There's a lot of curves because over time and years, bones bend. They don't just have this like perfect tube shape that some people will actually draw very straight tubes, but I purposely steer away from it just because I just feel a lack of realism when it comes to the creature, wherever it's lived or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, there's that. So if we want to make this a hind leg, what we want to do is probably lower the knee a bit more, just a tiny bit, right like there, and make it like a bit longer so that the hind leg that we attach here, this is kind of what I do, is I just follow the curve, the same shape, just go down a bit more. So it looks like it naturally fits within that, like a jaw, but it's not a jaw. And usually it's about around here where the curve of the ankle goes. You can actually lengthen it or shorten it, but I wouldn't do too much more than just before it gets to the end of the butt here. Right? So you want to do the same thing, same principle here. Curved in line, and then that curve, well, not like that. There's your hind leg. Okay. And when animating, it's super tricky to try to imagine what this walk would look like, but you really just need to think about the mechanics of it. So this would probably go lower, so this would go this way. This would obviously go up this way. Before it even extends this needs to just lift up entirely. But then after that step, after that's lifted up, let's redraw it to animation tutorial, I guess. So this has been lifted up, this is now here, and it's now here. It's been lowered. You would want to extend the leg out a little bit more, so from there to here. You could add a lot of subframes, so like that, leg, you could do a lot of different frames. But of course you would want to have this facing, let's say, a different angle, like towards the camera. But I'm just kind of showing like a flat. So up, down, sliding this foot forward, and then foot is on the ground right here. Okay? And then all of this would swing forward. All of that would go forward again. So the whole body would need to lean in on one side as this part is now that it's touching the ground, it's going to need to rest. So contact. This is the contact point, right? It's touching the ground. everything here goes forward. So that's now there to there, sort of. And you would eventually fold this back up back into this position again, but like I said, just moving the body and the leg that way. So it is a lot of different movements and shapes that go with that. And you could even add like little ankle twists or things to add, just make it really feel like it's walking on the specific terrain you are. If you're walking in like a muddy terrain or a rocky terrain, there's interesting things I've seen animators do, or people when they're drawing, to indicate, you know, where he is environmentally, and adding sound effects. So when the foot contacts the ground, you hear like a crunch. When you hear sloshing with the I was just watching Avatar: Last Airbender, when they're walking on the ground, you hear like water, you'll hear, you know, like a sloshing sound effect. Things like that can add to your animation or indicate to your mind environmental cues of where he's gonna walk or where he's stepping, even without even seeing it. So you don't even have to show the foot. You could just imply that the foot has contacted the ground and that it's moving around. But that's how I would draw like a dinosaur or a dragon leg. But if you're trying to add more detail, this doesn't have enough muscle on it, in my opinion. You can make any kind of changes to it. So I want mine to look very muscular. So we're gonna add here just a bit more of a nuance. So we're going to wrap. I don't know exactly what these muscles are called. I just know that this one usually wraps around and this one usually wraps around this way between this guy. And not all muscles have to look accurate. I think if you learn how to draw muscles the way you want, because I've seen a lot of nuanced drawings in some artists when they do concept or creature work, and the muscles look pronounced or dramatized a bit, but they look interesting. And I think that if you're drawing an alien or anything like that, or a mythological creature, you can kind of play with it, not worry so much that it doesn't look like a real animal. This looks close enough to a real animal. People's brains will still go, okay, that looks real enough to me. So I'm gonna square off his muscles. If you want to indicate like power, you want to square off just a bit more of that curve. Less muscle, you want to go in more. You want to have the very, very slender, so his muscle would be like really small. But this is obviously bulging, you know what I mean? And the knee here is just obviously, you know, a hinge for the muscles to wrap around and all that stuff. Okay, so going to actually attach the leg probably back here. And I moved the ankle a little bit too far up, so yeah, as my examples show, I want it to be probably just before there. It's just my rule of thumb. Like I said, you can add any lengths to the legs as you want. Okay. And if you're wondering, like, okay, you don't want to do too many outlines of muscles, but you just want the ones that seem important for lighting purposes or to add an effect. Mainly, some people will just do this and call it good, which, I mean, you could do that, but there's just so much more interesting ways to just indicate that line of the muscle here without even fully drawing it. Just doing like this. Adding some details here, like scars or something, dirt around that spot, and then coloring it in and blending it there. Like, you understand the muscle's going to be there, so just imply it, add lighting, add texture, and then this point will stand out more, I guess. So yeah, also I'm just adding lines here. I don't know. Sometimes you don't always want to do that, but I think that is a little bit interesting looking. Too many lines can be just overbearing, but a little bit of this and that can go a long way, is what I'm saying. So for the ankle, you want to add, you know, indications of the tendons, where they're gonna sit, you know, and you want to not tighten up everything. You want to loosen up some stuff, tighten up some stuff to make it look the way you want. So we're gonna make this beefy boy look monstrous. Lower the muscle a bit more. Now that you can see, I added little indications, little bits of lines. Like, that's years of work simplified right there to just look like nothing, basically. But it's still enough. It's enough information, and altogether, that all has enough for your brain to kind of read it, flow with it, understand what it's looking at. And you can add spikes, like right here. You could build off. You know, I tend not to add spikes more when I draw, because like if a creature has spikes and it evolved to stab itself like here, when you add a spike there, yeah, it looks cool, I guess, but you're not thinking about that creature sits on that, he's gonna basically stab himself in the ass. Why would I add that? So I just don't. Or same thing here, if there's spikes here, if his leg closes up, he's stabbing himself. So why? Why would there be spikes? Another one here, if he has one on his knee, he would have it kind of facing out towards us. Like in creatures like dinosaurs, a lot of their spikes are facing towards whatever is coming at them. So if you want to do anything, I would probably add some spikes on the sides of his legs. That's just more plausible. So this would be okay. But there's no real rules. You really could just do whatever you want with this. Like, you can add spikes up here. You can do whatever you want. But if it's a dragon or a monster, there you go. Boom. So there's some interesting, you know, bits on the side of his leg. If you want to make like as natural looking as possible, you want to make it look smaller, you know, just kind of divvy it out, add some extra, you know, like, I don't know, scales. I try to be very feathery with how I do my penciling sometimes, because variations in line work are important for this kind of thing. I've been drawing dragons for a long time. Like, first is where I started with. But even though I've been drawing dragons a long time, doesn't mean I'm good at drawing them. There's still like things I struggle with drawing creatures wise, is drawing their wings. I try to get their wings looking as good as possible. Mainly I just tried to not overshade them. That was my flaw, was just overshading the flaps, making them look 3D when they didn't. And then I stand back and realized I didn't make it look as 3D or in the environment lighting wise as I should have, which is still something I struggle with. So yeah, but as you can see, as we added that just adds so much more to it. I mean, you can't really see the lines as easily. I'm doing a lot of subtle things here. Mostly cues of if I want to add scales, things like that. Okay, and now we're gonna move down to like foot. I'm just gonna kind of quickly show you. I don't know why this isn't following. Okay, that just looks odd. Okay. I realize now that this is No, it's facing toward. Okay, it's facing towards us. I don't know why I'm worried about this. It's not a big deal. Yeah. All right. So for a foot, I don't know. I just try to indicate, you know, the separation. It's like a hand. I draw it more like a hand. I don't know. I'm not like perfect at anatomy with feet or legs, but I try to do this kind of like tiger, like spider leg thing going on. General Grievous style. I don't know. So start there. I just start with positioning toes whenever I draw like the dragon's leg, and I would draw like a little toe here, like it's like where his thumb would be. There, now you're starting to see, you know, where you want the hands, but now you're gonna want to turn, at least switch up the way you're thinking about this for a second, and you want to kind of move the lines up here like this, because what you're gonna want to do is overlap everything, make it look like it's interconnected tissue. So see how this folds over here, things like that. You can't really see it. You see how I had to draw little lines, basically. Here's an indication of the turn of his toe and how the knuckle kind of folds in. On the skin, it's kind of tight here. I could have added extra. Hold on.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these.
This kind of feels weird, but also it looks kind of normal. Like, it just looks weird to me, but if I sit with it for a little bit, there's definitely ways we can adjust and fix. So another thing is to indicate the knuckles, so we can figure out how we want those to look. I'm gonna make them look kind of big, I guess. You don't want to over detail them. So if you're seeing there's too much, I feel like there's too much here. There's too much on the side here. You want to kind of draw it back a bit more. Oh, that does look better. I realize it's just not enough. Yeah, okay. I like that this looked slender, but I was like, I don't need it to look really bulgy back here. Seems like there's too much going on, or he's got like some swelling or something going on in his muscles. So this looks more, you know, uniform, but also variated enough to look like a foot. It doesn't look robotic entirely. Non-natural. It looks very natural. That's what we're going for. Somewhere in the middle between, you know, robot and not robot, I guess. It also looks like a bird foot, obviously, or a cat, or dinosaur. But that's kind of what Dragon you want it to look like if you're drawing something that is kind of like those things. Now you can see that I'm adding more nuances to the toes, little tiny details there. There's a lot, and let's bring it up to the camera a bit more. So now you can't see it that easily. So there's lots of little divots and lines going on top of the basic shape that we started with, which was just, like I said, just a giant spider, you know, kind of like this, ... toes, and then we just start interconnecting with the bend that we also talked about here, where it just goes kink, kink, boom, and then we just attach. That's kind of how I do it. It's like I'm building the part out, and then I just fit it. That's kind of how I do it. Yeah. All right. I think I'll do more creature tutorials. I think that's what I want to do. Like, not tutorials, but live stream, and I might do a tutorial, or I'll just do more creatures. And if anyone has any questions, I can explain some of the things that I've learned over the years of drawing. But yeah. How long has it been? It's been an hour, but I honestly think I need to go eat and probably rest some more. I still got the Ronus, and I'm starting to feel it again pretty hard, so my mind's just kind of having a hard time focusing. But yeah, subscribe, stay tuned for more of my content, and see you later. Bye.